Value-based strategy is coming from game theory and is a particular part of the streams of studies in academics that give an additional and very important view on how competition works in the competitive arena. Basically, it's coming from some studies, but the major, let's say, pieces that created this stream of research was an article, an academic article called Value-Based Business Strategy that tried to define what is value, and then was followed by an article on the HBR also from Brandenburger and Nalbuff, The Right Game, so use game theory to shape strategy, and then both authors published a co-petition that probably is one of the most influencing book and one of the most interesting book written about strategy, probably more interesting than influencing decision making for practitioners, because it's a bit more complex than other strategic framework. What we will try to do in this and the following videos is try to give you a feeling, an actionable feeling of what is value and what is value-based strategy. So the key point is that basically strategic decision is not about what you should do, but is more about how you can shape the game of the competition that is made all together from all the players that are doing the game of strategy. The key point is to see you in the eyes of other, or in the shoes of other, or even put yourself in the heads of the other players and try to understand which is the value that you're bringing to them and the value that you are getting from them. So we will focus a lot on what do we mean for value, then we will discuss about how we create value and how we capture the value. The most interesting example is pricing. If you lower the price, it seems a very good decision, because lowering the price under some condition of elasticity, you are increasing volumes and you are increasing your overall turnover. Price times volume give you the turnover, so lower prices times more volumes give you higher turnover. But this is only one part of the story, because on the other side, you are stealing market share or customers from competitors. So the reaction is also competitors want to lower prices and increase their revenues. And at the end, you will, let's say, go back to the original situation, same market share of the beginning of this action and counteraction, but with lower profit, because you have lowered the price, you and your competitor. So here is a very small conceptual idea of how game theory works and how we should reason in terms of value in a network of value creating actors within the competitive arena. To start to give you some example, here there is the opening example for what is acting strategically through value. And it's a very simple case. There is a professor, that is Adam, and 26 MBA students. Here, the rule of the game is that if you have a black card and a red card together, you will have a price of $100. So the point is that Adam has 26 cards with a potential value of $100 if the black card has a red card together. Students have each one card which is red, and there's a value of 100 if paired with the black one. So at the end, everybody has a value from 0 to 100. And the difference between 0 and 100 is the ability to get the other card, to gain the other card. So at the end, Adam have to discuss with the 26 students and have to deal with each one to pay some money. And every student knows that Adam, once he has the red card, he can pair with the black cards he has and get 100. So every student knows that his card has a value of potentially 100, and for sure 100 in the hands of Adam, who has the black one. So we can suppose that roughly the 26 students will end up pricing their red card 150 so that they can share the 100 50-50, $50 for Adam and $50 for the students, each student. So at the end of the story, the overall value created will be 2,600. Out of these 2,600, Adam will have 1,300 and every student will have 50. So in terms of understanding the rule of the game and try to act and change the rule of the game, Adam take an astonishing, strange, counterintuitive decision. He takes 3 cards, the black cards he has, 3 out of them, and he burns in front of all the students. So his class now knows that he has only 23 cards, and the overall value that Adams can get is 2,300. But what about the students? Now, every student knows that 3 out of 26 students will end up with 0 value because Adams need only 23 red cards and not 26 because 3 were burnt. So in the moment in which the negotiations start, Adam can play with different students. He can just buy from others because he doesn't need all the cards in the class. And probably this will end up that Adam will have probably 90% of the value that is less than before. So it's not 2,600 because you cannot, having burnt 3 cards, you cannot give to the dean who is paying for the game 100 per pair. You cannot give 26 pairs, you just will give 23 pairs. But out of those 23 pairs, Adam will get 2,500 and more because he will just pay probably 10 or 5 or 20, let's say. But let's suppose that he will pay 10 per 23. He will just pay 230 to students, and he will get the rest. So he will get 2,300 times 90%. That is much bigger than what he was expecting to have in the 2,600 case, because in that case he will have 1,300. He will divide it by 2 with the students. In this case, he will have probably more than 2,000. If we split 90%, he will have 2,070 out of the 2,300 overall value that can be created. So in this case, you see how value-based strategy take into consideration the value of you can bring on the table and the value others can bring on the table, and how these values gather together. Usually game theory seems to be a bit theoretical, or let's say too much mathematics involved, or too much modeling. But in the reality, the value-based strategy that is not game theory, it's more strategy based on value, has incredibly impact on strategic decision in the real world. Let's look at another case that Brandenburg and Nalbuff present in their 1996 books on competition. And let's suppose about the fact that you have customers. Your customers will always require from you better pricing. They want the same product for a lower price. And as we said at the beginning, if we lower the price, we will get customers from competitors, but then our competitors will do the same, and we will end up after a price war having lowered all the overall profit of the entire industry. But then they come up with a case in which a company was able to give a lower price to its customers to lower the willingness of these customers to go to the competitors without chasing customers from a competitor. So in the case, in the example that now, in the case, because it's a real case, happened, GM and Ford selling cars for 20,000. GM wants to give a discount of 2,000 to its customers. Those are willing to buy GM cars without, let's say, stealing customers from Ford. And because if you start to steal the customers, then Ford will came in the price war and lower the price as well. So what GM did was, I raise the list price to 21,000 of the car, and then I give you 2,000 discount to some customers. Which customers? Natural GM customers, people that would like to buy GM cars. How I find those, let's say, natural GM customers? In that case, GM launched a credit card. And the credit card is saying you will receive from GM partnered with a bank a credit card. The more you use the card, the more you gather points. The more points you have, the more discounts you can get from GM for a new car of 21,000 price list, up to 2,000 total discount. In that case, only people who want to use the car, have a car from GM, will get the discount. And people that are natural Ford customers will not have that kind of card, and so will not have the discount. And probably, as it happens, Ford will launch, and Ford launched a credit card, a Ford credit card, that is for natural Ford customers. In that way, both companies will have the opportunity to protect their natural segment of customers and do not steal customers from the competitor, and so the company do not stealing customers. They do not create a price war process. And this is, let's say, a bit more complex, but not of much complexity in terms of modeling and statistical things. It's a real example of how in the automotive industry pricing can be used and leveraged in a better way than how after 1996 has been used, because probably the worst place in which price wars happen is exactly the automotive industry now, but probably in the last 20 years, 25 years, if some car guys had read the book of Nabeloff and Brandenburger, probably we had better pricing now. We would have had better pricing in the automotive industry. Unfortunately, we haven't, and profit pools in the automotive industry basically disappeared in the last 20 years. So from the automotive industry case on, the first question we have to understand is how we measure value. What is the 2,600 value that we find in the case of Adam and his students' cards? Or what does it mean 2,000 of rebates or discounts or price? So which is the connection between these dimensions? And so the key first question that we have to answer is, what is value? And we will answer to this question in the next video.